What's up, guys? I'm Philip Cup, and we are back with The Roottrees Are Dead. Last time, we were able to uncover a lot more names, in addition to the Roottrees sisters. Their dad and pretty much their whole family died in an airplane crash. So now we're just trying to piece together all these people and their family tree to see, I guess, do it for a lawyer. So we're a detective, I think. Try to piece together the Roottrees family tree, and apparently there's a lot of money on the line for this. I think we got stuck a little bit last time. We need to have 3 filled out, and then it'll tell us as we get 3 correct at a time. So let's look at our evidence. Seems like we have a lot to look at right now. Let's look at this. Generation. After some time, they returned with new resources, a photo of Carl's generation taken in the mid to late 1970s, as well as some papers and mail from his office. Not long before they were set to return, you heard something odd on WRTD radio. The photo you were given may have been stolen from Carl's office. The newscaster mentioned you could search online for WRTD to find out more. We already did that last time, and it said that apparently it was stolen from their office. Here. Investigative there, it wasn't a break-in. Someone close to them. Don't believe. The comment below the article says, "Don't believe their lies. This is just another instance of the Roottree curse." So let's look this up, because I want to see. There's a long, rambling conspiracy website with very small, very red text on a black background that says that the Roottrees are cursed. It has been very recently updated with the following. Important update. With Carl and Brenda and their girls, that makes 5 new deaths. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottree company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982, but nobody was arrested. Then Ernie Madison Jr. stepped down. Was he poisoned? Now just this week, Carl died in a plane crash. This cannot be a coincidence. This tells us the presidents in order. Oops, general. We don't need this one anymore. We can delete that. Carl is the 5th president. Oops. It doesn't let me press enter. So let's just do this. Carl was the 5th president. Let me see here. Ernie Madsen Jr. is the 4th. And then we have Guy, who was the 3rd. Wait a minute. It says 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottree company have died mysteriously. So I'm assuming it's like the last 3, but it might not be true. 3rd? Let's put a question mark. There's another entry that claims if you cannot connect the dots in the pattern of the 5 pieces wrapper, it creates a Mayan ruby skull, a secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. Of the 5 pieces wrapper. The post before that has a link to a site that talks about how Earth has 4 corner simultaneous 4-day time cubes. What? Okay, let's look this up. Nothing relevant. Wait, you begin to read the site and come to the conclusion that the words "no relevant results" isn't a strong enough description for what you're seeing here. It's a massive column of technical terms that aren't real and confusing rants. You can't find it. Okay. Oh, it's so stupid. A waste of time. Oh, there's more. An entry from a few months ago claims that the owner of the site received an email from Chris Raff 75 at prodigy.us asking him to take down the site with fake proof that Ernie Madison Jr. actually had a heart condition and wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that the proof was fake because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. The first entry is from 1996 and has a blurry picture of the Roottree Candy Company factory seemingly taken by the website's author from behind a fence and through some trees. It seems that the Operation RT-29 is real. Let's look that up. I witnessed a helicopter land on February 29, 1996. The website footer says all images and ideas by Thomas Overwood. And we gotta look that guy up too. You find more conspiracy websites. Some people out there claim that the Roottrees are changing the candy recipe to include more and more chemicals, and that this was done in cooperation with bad actors from an unknown government. They claim that due to a loophole in the calendar, it's possible to get away with nearly any crime on a leap day so long as it isn't discovered until after the day is over. And that every 4 years on a leap year, the Roottree company hosts a meeting with foreign agents to conspire to poison our children. Okay, so this is just conspiracy theories. To claim that, blah, blah, blah. So Operation RT-29 was a waste of time. But let's look up Thomas Overwood. Thomas Overwood seems to have a few different sites about mysterious deaths and curses. In addition to the Roottrees Curse website, you also find one about the truth behind Spirit Cola, which claims that Spirit really stands for Satan's plague is returning in 2000. What? And that the year 2000, anyone who has drugged Spirit Cola will die. Okay. All right, now just a bunch of stuff. Let's go back. Not relevant. All right, let's look at our other evidence. Dang, so we looked at all these except for this one. I'm assuming all 5 are going to be in this thing. A Life Between Wars, excerpts from the diaries of Roottrees. Schoolbound Publishing, Lauren Roottrees. Captures the evolution and perspective from adolescence to adulthood. So that's another picture of Lauren here. Where is it? Bam. And then we know that this is the man in that picture there, but we don't know his name. Let's go back to evidence. The below are notes and observations you made while skimming through Lauren Roottrees' diary pages in A Life Between Wars. Lauren Roottrees is on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. She will be marked by the chart with a star. The book was published in 1965 and consists of diary entries that stretch from 1940 to 1965. The most important event that much of the diary and Lauren's thoughts revolve around was the loss of her husband, Jacob. Jacob died in the final months of World War II while Lauren was pregnant. This left her to raise her son Clark alone. Lauren never remarried and only had one child. By skimming the pages of the diary, you glean on the following information. She was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. Okay. That is correct. We have that. And then this guy's name was Jacob. Jacob Rafferty. Okay. So that means that we know that. Let's look at the list of names again. Like, we don't even have to. Okay. Look at this real quick. Rafferty. There's 3. There's 3 Raffertys. So it's either Chris or Jacob that goes in that. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close. Close to figuring out this line. So we know that this is Jacob or Chris, and then this right here is also Jacob or Chris, and then I don't know about this. The book was published in 1965 and consists of diary entry. Yeah, we did that. Read that. We're down here. Granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth. Her mother's family was called the Cosels, but she hardly ever mentions them. Mother's family. Okay, Cosell. So Lauren right here. So the spouse's name is Cosell. Sarah. We still don't know what his occupation is. Her father, who she always refers to as Pop, was the head lawyer for the Roottrees Candy Company and helped write a legal document called the Clancy Trust. So he was a lawyer. Perfect. Lawyer. All right, so that's one name still. Dang it, we still need 2 more names for that to lock in. Okay, it's all right. It's clear from context that the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren uses them often. 5 pieces. The first generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias. Lauren's father was in this generation. The next generation, Lauren's generation. The free spirits, the generation after Lauren's, including her son. Okay, so who's your son, damn it? So we did notes already. Now we need to look at complaints. Oh, an entry entitled Complaints from Lauren Roottrees' Diary, written in 1953. This entry seems to focus specifically on one of Lauren's family members, Gwen, who is on the notable Roottrees list. She's the actress. Seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwen was an only child and complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. During the summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot. Oh, okay, so Roottrees Margolite. Okay, so we already had her. I hoped she would be the sister I never had and that I'd do the same for her. I even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the 2 of them. What a mess, but she just complained. To her, I was the lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. I must admit, seeing her everywhere contributes to my unhappiness. Her visage stares at me every now from my coffee table. She gets to be in starlet and tell tales of how she gallivants around the world, kissing the likes of Harrison Lane and Wild Bill Williams. She's the first root tree woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I am jealous. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in this world? So her first son is Clark Rafferty. But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me, and now, though I have been undoubtedly burdened by this terrible tragedy, I'm also lucky to be born into a family that can support me for eternity. I can raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them were to hear me complaining, they would rightfully scoff, just like I do at Gwen. 1953, so 5 years later is Dynasty. An entree, why do I keep saying entree? They must be thinking of food or something. An entry entitled Dynasty from Lauren Roottrees' diary, written in 1958. It focuses on the day her grandfather Elias announced he would step down as president of the Roottree Candy Company and the meeting to determine his successor. I wish I had been a fly on the wall today. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Granddad was furious none of his sons would take over as president, but that's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers, and lawyers, nobody got time for candy. So with the 5 pieces refusing to step up, it comes down to us next gens. Pop argued at length that the company should stay within our branch of the family, since we still have the Roottree name. But I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who was volunteered. Okay, Clancy. So someone in here. Oh, Clancy's here. Clancy Edward, or one of the. He's a lawyer, so we should look up Clancy Edward Roottree. The Clancy Trust is a highly unusual corporate agreement named after Clancy Edward Roottree, who was Elias' son and the Roottree Company's head lawyer at the time. Okay, we already did all this. We read this before. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who volunteered. Instead, it ended up, who was volunteered. Instead, it ended up going to Zach, even though his surname doesn't match the candy. He's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. Okay. So that means here. He's here. The oldest, right? Oldest, youngest. Yeah, so this is Zach. Zachariah? I think it's Zachariah. Okay. Zachariah Morden. So this has to be a Morden too. Okay. He's a firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. I'm not sure how that's relevant to running a company, but Granddad has always had very particular views when it came to his bloodline. I asked Clancy if it ever came up that a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Zach. What? Okay, hang on. Go ahead, Zach. Even though his surname doesn't match, he's the firstborn son of the first. Oh, Angie's older than Zach. This isn't Zach. This is Angie. Yeah, and Angelica Morden. And this is Zach. Oops. Zachariah Morden. Because the oldest is on the left. So if she's older, then she needs to be over there. And I'm next oldest of all of us, but he just laughed. We'll check. Okay, something's not right here. There's something going on right here. Because if Angie's the oldest, Zachariah's the next one, because they're siblings. And I'm next oldest of us all. So there's 3 in that generation. But there's something going on here. Something's not right here. There's an inconsistency right here. So like, it's like he had a kid but didn't tell anybody or something. So this branch is like hidden. Zachariah Morden. Okay, let's keep reading. I'll never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told Ma it wouldn't go to us. Mother, ever the quick-witted, at least with catty remarks, countered back, maybe they wanted it to go to the only member of their family who looks like he samples the product. Okay, so we move forward another 5 years and we go to Sam. An entry entitled Sam from Lauren Rootrees' diary written in 1963. From a previous entry, you learned that Elias Roottree had given it to his wife and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Oh, snap. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for quite some time. Hang on a sec. Sam for quite some time. Lauren writes, why Sam? I have many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had sisters and Granddad had a brother or two, but I was told trim their branches from the family tree. So why is Sam special? Nothing adds up, and I'm the only one to realize. Sam. Something about Sam. Who is Sam? God, I can't type at all. I think he's in Gen 3. In Gen 3. Let's save that note for now. Angie summoned all the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwen's in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. Uncle Junior? Patsy here. So that's her uncle. So that's the only one. Uncle Junior. So this is Patsy. So it's Patricia Christensen or Patricia Jones. Let's look it up. Patricia Christensen. Ian Jensen. Christensen Steel was steel company in Butler County. On a World War II history page, you find that it contributed to the war effort by creating parts for vehicles, but after that went out of business. Christensen Steel and Patricia Christensen both are mentioned in a book review for Steamy Correspondence by Tina Angelina. Nothing. It has to be Christensen because it's talking about World War II, so she's the older one. So I think it has to go with her. Let's go ahead and look up that book though. Tina Angelina. This book is a book of historical letters with an erotic twist. Each letter is accompanied by context from the book's author. A letter from the book has been added to your pages. Okay, so that entry is not important, but this is. Close this. Steamy Correspondence, Historical Letters with an Erotic Twist by Tina Angelina. Let's see if she's one of the people. I think it's just an author. Yeah, she would be up here, so I don't think that's her. Let's go back. In 1934, someone who goes by Hatch wrote a letter full of innuendo to an unknown gentleman who it is clear she had a romantic history with. Hatch is thought by the book's author to have been Patricia Christensen, a daughter of the owner Christensen Steel. Her nickname was Pat, and CH was the first letters of her last name, and Patricia Christensen was known to appreciate wordplay like this. Patricia, who would have been in her mid-20s when the letter was written, was married to an older man of no notable status. This letter was most definitely not to him. There are also a few passages after the steamy bits that mention a daughter, leading Tina Angelina to theorize that this letter was written to the father of a child she hid from her society in some way. The letter ends on a mention of a twisted twin that seems to invoke imagery from classic literature. To theorize that this letter was written to the father of a child that was hid away from society. We need to write that down. A daughter that was hidden away from society. Maybe Sam? Yeah, let's save that. Because that's what I think it is. I mean, Sam is like, it could be a boy, a girl's name, so that's hard. The letter ends on a mention of a twisted twin. We read that. If not for her story, yours and mine would be the most tragic tale ever told. How awful is it that such beauty was ripped from his rightful fate, and worse, sent to live in possession of your brother's twisted twin? What? Left an outcast, forced to a life of labor under a wicked relative. It's like something from the start of a children's fable. She deserves not the life he has been sentenced. Wait, what? She deserves not the life he has been sentenced to. I can't stand to be apart from you both. Someday I shall return to you, and I pray that he has not corrupted her to know his sins. I swear that on that joyous day, with all the strength I can muster, I will fight for our child's freedom. Let us pray her fable has a happy ending. Tina has no theory for what the more cryptic parts of that means. This part is kind of confusing. So it says here, Patricia, mid-20s, was married to an older man of no notable status. This letter was most definitely not to him. Oh, so she was married to like some other dude, and then went to go sleep with a root tree. There are also a few passages after the statement that mention a daughter, leading Tina Angelina to theorize that this letter was written to the father of a child she hid away from society in some time. Oh, so she slept with a root tree, got pregnant, like during that affair? Yeah, most definitely. This is Patricia Christensen. For sure, no doubt. We need some more information right here because I'm getting confused. Because she was married to a guy that's not rich. That part is the part that's like sketch, but I don't know enough yet to kind of process that. She deserves not the life he has been sentenced to. See, that's the part that's not making sense to me. All right, well, so we looked at that. Let's go back to this book. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. At the reception, when I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. Clancy swore he saw Sam work alongside the farmhands, EC and John, when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all three are on the books. Sam was just a normal worker. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother. Oh, okay. So Eli would be over here. This is... God damn it. Now I don't know. They just say Eli, so it's Elias C or Elias M. Even chimed in. Apparently, when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to use the bike's engine faster. None of us think that proper for a multitude of reasons, but Eli certainly seemed thrilled. At the end of the day, nothing explains why an outsider has cozied into family affairs, especially one who works on the farm of all places. Whatever happened to blood is thicker than syrup. Why is Granddad making an exception now? Let's go to Clark. This is 1 year later. One of the final entries called Clark from Lauren Roottrees' diary, written in 1964. Clark's getting married, and in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18 for God's sakes, and Danielle isn't much older, but openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16. So I guess the youngest one is Clark. They're all married, so it's kind of hard to tell. No, the only one is Clark Rafferty. Clark Rafferty. I wish they would tell us his parents' name. Clark's getting married. Because this is like years later. Clark, like the rest of his generation, is a free spirit. Okay, good. So it's like one generation after Lawrence. What else do you call a group of kids growing up with more money than any one person can spend? They all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of nonsense. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Dad forced Clancy. So this is Clancy Jr. Pop, which is him, forced Clancy, which is him, to send Carl, which is him, to the academy. Okay, so that name is correct. Moving down. Maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seemed to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. And as for me, my first published book, Swashbuckle My Heart, is based on the pirate stories I used to invent. Let's look this up. Let's just copy. And then we can go to the public book. Look that up. And then get her. What is her name? Lauren Roottrees. Nothing relevant to your investigation was found. Swashbuckle My Heart is based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob when we were walking in the woods after school. I think he'd be proud that Clark and I are carrying his name. Even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president after all. And his sister, so Zach is the second president. That's my notes. Yeah, edit note. Second president. He is the president. Second. He was the second president. Who was the third? The third one was Guy. We don't know who that is. Fourth one is Ernie Madison Jr. We don't know who that is either. Even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president after all, and his sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. When is Gwen, but at least she came out of her divorce with her head held high. She even told us she might come home next year so we can meet her kids. But the free spirits in any other family, they'd all end up on the streets, even Clark. Okay, let's go ahead and look at these pictures again. It looks like there's a lot of stuff still here. 15 hints in this. Oh my goodness. Clark's her son. Danielle is who he's marrying. Danielle Franks. But then they split up. So Clark Rafferty. Need to look that up. A few fan sites for the brand, Jim and Diamond, seem to mention that he used to make music with Clark Rafferty. They mentioned an album called These Times. Oh my goodness. A band called C&J plus J&D released one single called These Times. It's Clark and who's the J? Released one single called These Times. Someone with the username Die Hard Dazzlers scanned the cover and noted that it cost him over $200 at auction. Apparently this was Jim Roottrees and Diamond LaRose's first song together. Apparently this was their first song together. He also mentions that it was performed with Jim's cousin and Diamond's sister. Jim's cousin and Diamond's sister. And that it was only somewhat similar to Jim and Diamond's later works. You can't find anything else about Die Hard Dazzlers, the band, or the single. So that all that's left to do is to add the scan to your evidence. After a blazing fast 35-minute download, the track is also available. All right. These Times. Wait, I thought there was something else. Let's go ahead and take a listen. These Times is an old single from folk group C&J. Wait. Grab all these. C&J and J&D. So it's these two and these two. This has to be J&D. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that. Because of the beard. See, I don't think this is right because it didn't accept it. So I'm gonna change this to something else. Let's say this one right here. Beard. And then she's blonde and that girl's brunette. See, but I want to say it's this one. But then there's these two other pictures then that's not in here. And it said he did the music with his cousin. So I'm thinking it needs to be these two and then these two. So the girl in the yellow shirt, it's the blonde or the brunette. It has to be because it doesn't make sense for her to be someone else. Might have dyed her hair or something. Okay, let's go ahead and read this again. The website also listed the song's credits as music and lyrics by Clark Rafferty and Jim Roottrees, backup vocals by the LaRose. Clark Rafferty and Jim Roottrees. Wait, hang on. Clark Rafferty and Jim Roottrees, the LaRose. So this is his second wife. Yeah, because it makes sense, because then her picture would be here. So this is Jane. Oh crap, there's two. Jane or Kim. Let's do LaRose. Let's go. Is it Jane? Was the first one Jane? Jane Del Vecchio is listed on a talent for hire site as a wedding singer. Way down in the credentials section of her biography, it mentions she got her start as a young girl when she was Jane LaRose of the Lucky LaRose. It also mentions to only contact her agent in the event that you actually wish to hire her, that any and all inquiries about her past or her sister would be ignored. So she has a sister. Okay, so that's down here. So this one would be... Okay, who do we choose? Jane. So Jane LaRose is down here. This has to be Jane LaRose then. Jane LaRoe, and okay, and then who's the other one? Kim. Dang, nothing about the Kim. Wait, hang on, let's go back. The Lucky LaRose. Jane listed a pound for hire. Dang, it doesn't tell us who it is. So that is Clark Rafferty. Where is it? Right here. Clark Rafferty, he is a musician. Oops. Musician. All right, so that's 1, 2. We still need one more of the main ones, and then it'll start locking in a bunch of these for us, making things a little bit easier. Ruchi Clancy Jr. No, okay. Now we're at another dead end. So I think once it locks in, this is gonna be done. Because I think that one clue is the co-cells, her mom's name. I feel like this one's done too. I think it's saying 3 because of the names. We need to look at these pictures some more. And hopefully we can identify them now. Because like we got so many people in this one. This is the one from the 70s, and she's a teenager here. So all these other people must be from his like from his generation. So we gotta note the hair too. So these two are blonde. That guy's Eli. And these guys are red. Have red hair. Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr. We don't even know who Guy Hudson is. So let's look up Guy Hudson. Fancy Flavors was an addition to the 5-piece product line for less than a year in 1979. It was Guy Hudson's first and historically most cited move as president of Roottrees. In an attempt to cater more towards what he thought the average person wanted, Guy looked at his own wealth, which was often a source of envy for others, and decided to tap into the idea that if they added fancy flavors to 5 pieces, anyone could live like the wealthy. This philosophy led to a flavor in 5 pieces that was meant to mimic caviar. 5 pieces sold less that year than it had any other year, except in some foreign markets. It was very quickly announced that caviar was meant to be a limited flavor and would go back to normal as soon as possible. That's really funny. So Guy Hudson, he was the 3rd president. Wait, what? This one still has 3 clues? Rancid Trust. We're going to look that up. But let's look at Butler County. Outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Headquarters. While the Roottrees Candy Company now has its headquarters in the city, the company began on a small farm within the Butler County limits, and the area has a lot of history with the family. The Butler County Times is presumably a local paper there. There are likely articles from over the years involving the Roottrees family. Okay, so we read this already. Oh, what to do? Because now we just need to figure out pictures of people. And I don't want to just start guessing out of nowhere. I want to make sure we can get it right. It's Captain Caroline standing next to her sculpture, Atlantis Burden. So, I forgot who Caroline is again. Caroline Morden has to be in here somewhere. She's the one that got divorced. She goes here. Did she get divorced? Guardian, adoption, otherwise. But it said she had 2 kids. That's the thing. That doesn't make any sense. Because if she went here, so she would go over here maybe. Maybe she didn't get the divorce. But Angelica would have remarried, and her name would have changed. This is Zachariah, so the name would be the same. So it would go here or here. This is Caroline. Caroline Morden. She's an artist. Boom. Give it. Oh, shit. Didn't give it to me. So this is bad because that's our 3rd one. So we have one here. Where's the other one? One here. And one here. And it's telling us that it's not correct. One of these things is not correct. And who did she marry? Front page. No, I didn't want to see her in the periodicals. I wanted to see her book. Let's look at history. This one. Let's see. She was one of the youngest in her generation, so that's why it doesn't make any sense. Dr. Wilson. We need to look that up. Dr. Steven Wilson is a pediatrician. Oh my god. Why are the sounds in this game so loud? Never mind. Dr. Steven Wilson is a pediatrician who practices north of Pittsburgh. Although there are a lot of Steven Wilsons and Dr. Wilsons, this one apparently found a way to game their search results, as he pops in the top every time. His website claims that he is the pediatrician to the stars. The only evidence for this is that he apparently was the doctor to the Roottrees sisters. There's a picture of him on his website, as well as a picture of his 3 children. Okay, wait. That means that he goes here. So this is Dr. Wilson. Wilson? What's his real name? Dr. Steven Wilson. Steven Wilson. This is Gwendolyn? Was it what? Gwendolyn Morden. We don't know her occupation. And they have 3 kids together. Pediatrician. There's a picture of him on his website, as well as a picture of his 3 children. 3 of them look as though the photographer was holding them hostage. Regardless, the photos have been added to your evidence. There's also a quote that, although credited to his child Jason, you suspect might not be written by a 10-year-old. My dad is the best dad in the entire world, and he treats every patient with world-class care. He will treat your children like he would with me, my big brother, or my sister. So he's the middle child. So Jason's in the middle. This is Jason. Jason Wilson. And he is a child. Wait, so put student, I think? Okay, 12. Let's look at this crazy picture. Who is this? This is Dr. Steven Wilson, self-proclaimed pediatrician to the stars. He found this photo on his website. Dang, what a crazy guy. Crazy guy. All right. And then we got one more. We need to look at the picture of the kids because it's so funny. Okay. Oh, so he's the youngest. Steven Wilson's kids. The quote below the picture was credited to Jason. Okay, we read that already? This picture has a date on it. It seems like this was taken 2 years ago in 1996. So him, her, him. And Jason's the youngest. So let's put that here. That guy. The sister. Where is she? What? Did I not click her picture? I swear I clicked her picture. Let's click the kid first then. Oh, wait, what? No. This needs to be unknown. And this also needs to be unknown. Okay. So now this one can be the sister. There we go. Man, this thing organized the pictures really weird. And then we have the boy. So this is Jason. He is a student. Put that there. Oh. Let's see what we got. These 3 entries are correct and have been locked. Yes. Nice. It's clearing out all these names, so that's really good for us. And we got all these pictures. Awesome. Ooh, yeah. Oh, she's coming back.
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you one bit. Also, this phone, though. Oh my god. I feel like I'm gonna poke my eye out on these corners.
But I did borrow it. I'll return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family in the meantime. Oh, I guess that means I've officially confessed.
Nice.
I'm a Roottrees.
Bum, bum, bum.
I assure you I have a reasonable explanation for the secrecy. I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of.
She's gonna dissolve the trust.
If you could just wait a little bit longer, I'll tell you more. In person. I'll return after 15 more blood relatives.
God damn. Back to work. Alright. So we're about to get 2 more. We know that the last names are Wilson, so this is probably Gem, and this is probably Zach. And he looks like he's gonna be a student. What would we say? College? Say college for now. And then for her, student, K through 12. Let's look at that picture one more time. Because it looks like he graduated high school. Like, this is a high school graduation picture, which means that he would be in college. Yeah. Instead of returning, the person who hired you called on the phone. They claimed they were a Roottrees. They also told you that they'll give you more of an explanation the next time they returned. Okay, so this also means that one of the names we selected was not correct. Here. So the name is right, the picture is not right. That's not Clark. Which means that these two have to be switched. And this is James. What? Is that not right? I thought it would give me 3 more. Okay. Maybe this student's in college too? I don't know. I guess we can look up their names. Jem Wilson. Nope. What was the other one? Jason? Nope. And who was the last one? Zach. Oops. All right. So those 3 don't come up with anything. She even married a man who was the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. Local environment. Oh, and Rue's how she was not able to convince her father, Zach. So her father is Zach. Here. Zach Morton, he was the 2nd president. But we don't know who her mom is. No. Zach. Marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments in her life. Her marriage to Mark, all negative, and that the only good thing was give a daughter. Leaving them all behind for good has pushed her to pursue her true loves. Art and the beauty of women. So this is Mark. Mark Landon. Broke up. They have a daughter together here. Right here, dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Stephanie Jones? Wait a minute right here. Yeah, Caroline Morton. Carl, okay. Stephanie, yeah. So that's Stephanie here. Stephanie goes here. Stephanie Landon. And she is a politics. And she, right there. Yes, 3 more. So that means one of the names is wrong. Let's see, Zach, Jem, okay. Well, we knew those. Mark Landon, got the picture correct. Good. Lauren Roottrees says she keeps talking about Clark. Is this not the right Clark? No, that's right. Yeah, because that's her husband, so that makes sense. But he wasn't a musician? So we can check that out later. But at least we got this. We're starting to get these things filled out here. We just don't know their occupations. Oh, but the last name is Jones. It's Brian. And that's his picture. Got it. So her spouse, her last spouse, Eloise. So it is Louise right here. Okay, so this area here is correct. I just know it. She has glasses and she has curly hair. So this has to be her, I think. I'm gonna say it's her because that picture was from the 70s. So we're filling this branch out. This branch is pretty much done. We need to figure out this whole branch is untouched. And we still need to figure out 3 more names. But this thing is confusing me here. Because we know it's Clark Rafferty. Here. Clark Rafferty. So who's the sister then? Wait, did we get that? We didn't. Oh, we didn't get her. That's not right. So she is the blonde. Yeah, I knew that. And this person here has to be the brunette. But we know that her name starts with J. So it has to be Joan Monroe? No. This is female, right? Yeah, this is female. So it has to be Joan Monroe. I mentioned that I used to make music with Clark. I already mentioned it called these times. It doesn't give me enough information. Youngest. So this guy's the youngest one here. I'm just trying to figure out some of these. It would be this guy. And then this guy would be the second oldest. Oops. Go back to that picture. This guy would be second oldest. Right. No, wait, not I think it was that guy. And then the glasses guy would be the oldest because he has facial hair and everything and he's taller. But it could be just like the way they're stepped. So this is the four of them standing together. So if that's all of them, so we have two girls left and the guy. She wasn't there. He was a kid. He wasn't born yet. So that leaves these three here. For these three, woman, woman, man, they would be here. 3. This makes it so hard. I want Eli to stand all the way to the left. So Eli looks like, since to me he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one. So let's look at the old one. It was this. She calls her dad Pop, which is Eli Jr. Right? Is that her dad? No, her dad is Clarence Roottrees. It's this guy. So whoever looks like that guy, this guy, in the new one, is her. That guy right there. So that guy is Eli. Oh, God damn it. But now I don't know which one it is. Eli C or Elias M. We're getting so close. They passed us in front of the camera with Mr. Molden. Who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. Is that Mr. Molden? That might be him. Let's try and do it. Morden. James Morden. So I think that's James Morden. Like the... No, that's the only one to pass on the name. Because we got all these other names correct. Okay. So that has to be him. But he doesn't have a picture. So that might not be him. So he's just like a random guy. Take a look here. He has a beard and everything. There's something going wrong with this random picture right here. Is throwing me off. Now we know that Gwen lit up with another person. Let's look up her thing again. Okay, somewhat behind the scenes of a movie. She shouldn't, but her mother took her famous last name. Her father took her mother's famous name. So her father, we need to know her father. Oops. Because her father doesn't, her mom, her father took her mom's last name. Granddaughter of Elias Roottrees. Yeah, Wild Bill Williams. But then we can't find that name. Divorced before the birth of her second child. Williams. Yeah. Wild Bill? No. God damn it. It's like we know the name, but that's like a fake name. We need to know his real name. So let's look up Wild Bill Williams. Okay, let's search that. Nope, gives us the same thing. Wild Bill France. So Wild Bill France. Paris. Paris. So he's French. But like, does that mean that we need to look for a French name? I think that's what that means, because then it'll be slightly different from these names. So let's go ahead and look at the list of names. That's the only thing I can imagine why they would say that. I wish these names would get crossed off. Wild Bill Williams. And I got nothing. This is all the men's names. None of them look or even sound French. Pop seems to have gone over it, but because Edward is set to take over the department. Edward. That's one of the names of her brother, but we don't know which one. So I would say this is Edward. But let's check. So that means that he would be a lawyer, because Edward is taking over his dad, which is a lawyer. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation has never been so bad. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge in the most... Okay. We need to start looking up stuff in here, I think, because it'll tell us like the history of the city. So let's look up Zach. Oh wait, it says keywords. Okay. Zach. What's his name? Because he was the second president. I need to get a picture of him, that's why. Zachariah Morden. Damn it. Clark? Rafferty. Nothing. What's the other one? Business Watch. Okay. Business Watch will tell us about Zachariah Morden. There it is. In 1959, there's a small blurb about Zach Morden, son of James and Gwendolyn Morden. Let's see. James, and yes, we got that right. Whoops. And grandson of Elias Roottrees inheriting the candy company. He is quoted as saying, Elias trusted me with carrying on his legacy, and that's what I plan to do. Along with 5 pieces, our chocolate maple products are selling incredibly well. We will not be making any changes. Okay, so that's good. So let's check out the third president, which is Guy Hudson. I need to edit that so I have his name. A smart article from 1977. Guy Hudson, along with his twin sister, are no strangers to the public. When it comes to Roottrees snacks, they both appeared in the company's advertisements as children. Oh, twin sister. Okay. They are the only twins. So this is, let's look for Hudson. Christopher. Okay. And then who's the older one? Let's look here if he has any kids. Whoops. Kyle Hudson, along with his twin sister, no stranger, blah, blah, blah. They have both appeared in the company's advertisements as children during the Boys and Girls Agree era. Now Guy is taking over the Roottrees company at the end of the year. Who would have known that one of these 2 adorable redheads... So, if these are the redheads, right? So that must mean that this is... this one. Because her hair is not red. There's no way. It's hard to say. It's black and white. Let's just take a look here. Because to me, it looks like this would be red, not this. But let's look at the future pictures and see, like this one. So yeah, the short curly hair looks red. I can't even say that because hair is black dark here. Let me see. Let's go look at this other one. Black, red. It's like red and curly. So yeah, that makes me think that this is her. And she was the guy has curly hair. Okay. Wait, why did I do that? Fuck. What did I look that in? Periodicals? Okay. So guy had curly hair. So we can assume that this is the sister. So both of those are in this era. So that means this is this person. It doesn't. No, that can't be it. Oh, all of our hair is black. So it could be. Oh, wait, no, sorry, that's not right. Because this picture is from that same one, so I can't be right. I can't be right. No, that's a little boy. It has to be one of these three, which means that if she's redhead, this has to be this guy, and this has to be her. Zachariah Morton, that's him. Second president. And this is Angelica Morton. We need to find out what her thing is. But now we know the twins, but we don't need to know which one has kids or which one is older. So let's go back to here. Adorable redheads. Guy credits his mother and father, Angie, with his fighting his fire, arguing over everything but chocolate, would grow up to take over the whole company. Guy's uncle and current president, Zachariah. Oh, wait, Guy's uncle. Look. Yeah. Yep. That's right. So there's definitely in this here. Guy's uncle, Zachariah, decided to take it early, trying to focus on travel with his wife. Zach was quoted, now that daughters have started families. Clara. That's his wife's name. Boom. The wife. Now started families of their own. Clara and I plan to reflect on a life well lived. Guy is new to the business world, but he's family. We at Roottrees have faith in his innovative ideas, and he's eager to share them with the world. We'd like to think that boys and girls agree that he's ready. Boys and girls agree that he's ready to succeed. Why does it say that? Why is that so weird? Boys and girls. Successful ad campaigns. One of the ad listed as late 50s. Boys and girls agree. It's a series of magazines for the chocolate bars. The campaign is described as having the premise that boys and girls are often diametrically opposed, except when it comes to one thing. Both of them agree that Roottrees is their favorite. Due to the bright hair of the boy and girl involved. Okay. Oh, wait, we have something here. There we go. Boys and girls never agree on anything except Roottrees. Boys and girls agree it's gotta be Roottrees. That's adorable. This is an ad for the campaign. Describes having the premise that boys and girls are often... Yeah, we already read that. Oops. So we know that they're the twins, but it's... We need to know how many kids they got. So for right now, let's put... God damn it, now I can't remember their names. Guy Hudson. It's the Hudsons. And who is the other Hudson? Bonnie. Because that's the cousin. Oh, but... What's her face name? What's her name? Caroline? Was it Caroline? Let me look here. Here. Caroline. Caroline was saying how her sister and these two had kids and she didn't like them or whatever. These are all the free spirits. So let's go ahead and look at this one. This is the 70s one. This is the next generation. So we got these three. We need to figure out what their job is. That's Sam. Sam has to go here because look, there's no other place for her to go. So Sam is a girl. She's the one standing right here, and she's the one that's in the clothes. That's not like she's in like her clothes look like she's more poor than these other people. So this is Sam. This is Sam. I feel like we're so close here. Is there like something that we need to... What's his sister's name? Oh, I mean, that's easy. We already found out. Here. Oh, we gotta click on the picture. We didn't click on the picture here. Nice. So we can do him, and then we can do her. And they are... He was the third president. Bam. Wait, no. Guy Hudson third. Yep. He's third president. He's second. We need one more name. And she was... What was she? Go take over the company. Bonnie. We need to look at Bonnie. Dang it. It doesn't say her, like, say anything about her. Bonnie Hudson. Websites. Without much details. Called P flag. What? Okay, let's look that up. Search that. Found it in 70s. Parents and friends of lesbians and gays. Okay. Okay, so we have these two here. It might be backwards because we don't know if they have kids or not. But I feel like Caroline said they had kids. I don't know how we can find that. That's the problem. All right, let's look at this picture. This picture doesn't have anything else. Let's look at the board to see if there's any names without pictures. And I mean, we don't know any of their occupations either. Gwendolyn. I like, oh, wait. Okay, no, we do know. Because somebody said that they were the only person to not be a housewife. I think it was Lauren. Lauren was the one that said she was the only one that was not a housewife. Let's verify that. God, I don't remember where I saw that. I feel like it was in the computer. So I guess we can assume that some of them are housewives. If this is original, this is the original ones. Wait, why are these up here? No, she wouldn't be down here. What? Get that out of here. She would have to be up here. Yeah, she has like the flowy hair. And then here would be this one. Yeah. And then she would be a housewife. No? Okay. We already looked up Guy Hudson. He's the third. Zachariah Morton. Did we look at him? I think we did. Yeah. We'll not be making any changes. Okay. Wait, Rafferty LaRoe? What does that mean? All right, well, I know where that's going. Wait, no, not here. Down here. No, this is this one. Jessica and Katrina. Because that's the two daughters. But the picture's not right. And he's from that line, so he'd be one of the newer ones. Hang on, let me look at that Paris picture again. The photo has been attached, has a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damage picture out of this life, couldn't make the reunion. Wishing you well from Paris, Gwen and the boys. Gwen? Oh, that's her kids. It's her kids. So it's these two, but I don't know which one. I say it's this guy and this guy. They may have to switch. That's right, because Bill was the dad. Gwen Roottrees. Yeah, that's right. He's gonna take over the thing. So she said, Lauren said, wait, let's go back here. Who's taking over the department? Edward. Is this name Roottrees? Roottrees, yeah. So Edward is one of these, but I don't know which one. Oh, I like his tie. I just noticed that. Okay. I think I'm gonna end this episode here. We're close. We're close to just blowing this whole thing open. We have a bunch of names and pictures out. We just need to make sure they're right. There's just like one thing missing from every single thing. Hopefully we can solve this in the next episode. I highly doubt it, but I mean, we kind of have the names and stuff laid out. There's only like a few names that they could be. So I think we're really close. And I think this top secret one is gonna be Sam, because he kind of seems to be. She seems to be in that time period. I'm assuming it's a girl because I think I saw somewhere where I said she or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think this is gonna be Sam right here. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please consider giving me a like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you guys in the next one.